I can hear my neighbor going to town on some girl upstairs, and I feel so bad for the chick. This dude that lives above me is quite 99 of the time, so when he's loud upstairs I try to ignore it, and continue on with my night since it's not often. Could be way worse. But it's clear he's fucking tonight and has been pounding constantly on this poor chick like a jackhammer for the past 40 minutes. I can hear the bed rattling and it's been a vigorous rate for almost an hour. I heard her earlier on. Seemed like positive feedback, but that stopped like 20-30 minutes ago and I can still hear the bed rattling upstairs. It's relentless. Like bro, change it up and try slowing it down. I've been with dudes that think just pounding as fast and hard as possible equals good sex. And PSA, it's not. That poor chick probably dried up 30 minutes ago and this dude is rubbing her raw. I feel bad for her. I've been that chick before and it hurts. My ex-husband took Paxil briefly. No problem getting hard, but absolutely impossible for him to get off. I think we tried for over an hour and finally gave up from exhaustion and frustration. Switched from Paxil immediately. Neither of us were willing to ever do that again. I don't know how anyone could handle that regularly. Plot twist, she's now pegging him because he isn't lasting 40 minutes. Sometimes a guy just can't come. You gotta know when to call it quits. I dated a guy like this back before I was really good at setting boundaries and communicating in bed. It was so painful. He caused chafing that led to bleeding on the skin around my vulva, like even on my thighs and butt. It was horrible. And he kept repeating the same not so hot dirty talk. My landlord called about a complaint of furniture moving from my downstairs neighbor. Never again. I had a housemate like that, except he didn't seem to last as long. He was barely in the house, but when he was, it was to have sex in the room next door. You could hear him jackhammering away and zero input from his girlfriend. I had an ex like that. It's like he was trying to prove something. To who I don't know. It just went on and on and on, and then I got fed up, tired, and just said I'd had enough. Sex ended up feeling like a chore, and I ended up not interested in sleeping with him. A quickie would have been great from time to time, but no chance that was happening. A sloth is my spirit animal, so the thought of 40 minutes of jackhamming makes me feel so exhausted by proxy, like I need a nap. It's okay to not be able to finish, but don't make that the poor girl's problem. Just cuddle her, grab a titty and jack off. Then go to bed. LOL. Who knows? I stayed at my brother and sister-in-law's once. Wife and I were in the front room on the air mattress. I swore I heard them going at it for like hours in the middle of the night. I was like, damn dude. Turns out it was their hamster or gerbil or whatever running in its wheel. My roomie once stopped mid-sex because the guy, quote, kept making porn noises and had one dull, boring speed. End quote. She picked him up at a train station, and during the drive there, he sat in silence. That should have been the first warning sign. No social skills. The drive home was apparently as awkward and as boring as his technique, his personality, him, everything about him. Get a broomstick and whack the ceiling, or find some religious music and blast it. When men jackhammer, they're essentially replicating their own masturbation technique but using a woman's vagina instead of their own hand, for stimulation. Outside of porn actresses though, who are acting, virtually no woman on earth would pleasure herself by just quickly and repeatedly ramming a dildo into her vagina. Our masturbation habits tend to be completely different and don't involve penetration much or at all, so I don't know why so many men seem to think that pounding away for ages is going to be appealing to us. Yeesh. Are you sure she's still alive? Sure it's not the washing machine, LOL. Men think porn is an instruction manual. Maybe it's the other way around, LOL. Your neighbor is on antidepressants. That dude must have marathon-like stamina. 40 minutes? I actually like a good long pounding, so here's to hoping she does like it and is just quiet from pleasure. You don't always have to fuck her hard. In fact, sometimes, that's not right to do. Some women do actually like that though. There was literally a thread on this sub about liking being fucked exactly like you are describing. Maybe they muffled the voice and she is still into it? So many creepy assumptions. Welcome to Pound Town. Am I the only person who actually likes jackhammering? Like every girl always talks about how terrible it is, but I like hard and fast LOL. That's the only way I can get there. She probably fell asleep, happened to me once. Just trying to create a small fire with the friction. Sex with dudes is usually pretty bad TBH. Poor girl. I'm sorry, but what business do you have making these creepy and borderline accusational assumptions with zero idea of what's actually going on? Totally inappropriate and not helping anyone. Imagine self-inserting yourself to such an extent into your neighbor's life where you see it fit to post about his private sexual stuff on Reddit to talk with strangers about it. The guy is minding his own business, you should too. God, I'd hate to have you as my neighbor. Alright, respectfully, mind your own business OP. Maybe she's enjoying it, you wouldn't know. Must be fun judging people based on absolutely fucking nothing. This is really creepy and you're overstepping your boundaries. How would you enjoy neighbor guy posting about hearing you have sex? It could be more than one person or they could be filming a porn. Definitely had a neighboring hotel room where this was happening. Look, I get where you're coming from, but some of us do genuinely like that. This is a hilariously embarrassing thing to post. Sure, you can't ignore the noises above you, but did you really need to make a post about the man's sexual life? Did you need to speculate on if they are both enjoying it? Do you have a spy cam to tell what's going on, or are you just making shit up? She can tell him to stop though. Back when I had my first apartment, I would question what my upstairs neighbor was doing because it was so random and erratic. Washing machine moment. In an ideal situation, she escaped 30 minutes ago and he's finishing solo. IDK, why you feel bad for someone having sex? News flash. Some women enjoy sex. Some women enjoy getting it pounded. Why are you hating on a dude for having sex? So many misandrists here. You know what they say when you make assumptions as a woman who rarely has sex under 40 minutes, you need to find better partners. And not make assumptions about noise levels. What seems more likely is what you heard at first was the fake before the real, because let's be honest, most of us don't sound like we are in a porno unless we are putting on a show, and that only happens when the sex is lacking. Well, different strokes for different folks. Unless you are sitting in the corner of their bedroom eating a sub sandwich, how do you know what she is asking for? My wife is the one who likes a very rigorous pounding from behind. Sometimes she will turn her head and request it even after I would think it was too much. The worst combination of boring and uncomfortable. This is so GD annoying. I got shit to do. Get in and out within 20 minutes or I'm leaving. One time when I was first dating my husband, and we were having sex 6 times a day, I actually fell asleep and started talking to myself. It was round 6 and 11 p.m. and we were wasted. I got mine, but took forever, so I decided a nap was best. This bed is on fire with passion and love. The neighbors complain about the noises above. But she only comes when she's on top. As others have said, it could be a medication he's taking that makes it difficult for him to finish, or they could be drunk, which will have a similar effect and can also lead you to believe that our long pounding sessions are a good idea. Fuck that, I'd be calling the cops for the noise disturbance. You. 40 minutes, LMAO. Someone with that stamina is a rare specimen indeed. Or OP is regarded. The Death Grip fandom has entered the chat.